and we teach for the Cambridge Physics Academy, and this is our introduction to our USAPhO course series, which we're going to begin next month. So, if you join this webinar, you might be interested in signing up for the class. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the class in this webinar. Just for some quick introductions, as I said, my name is Colin. I go to Harvard, class of 27. And my physics background is I was 5th place and a gold medalist at the International Physics Olympiad this July. You can see some photos on the right that I took. You might recognize Professor Jan Calda, who is a physics legend himself. And yeah, so I've taught a lot in the past, including for Cambridge Physics Academy. I've taught math counts, pre-algebra, also some introductory mechanics, as well as the F equals MA winter camp, if you heard of that last year, which we did with some other campers. Some of my hobbies and interests are I like to play basketball. I do like to play piano as well. I like to eat food. Who doesn't? I like to travel. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, I'm Evan, and I'm a first year at MIT. And just like Colin, I also competed in the physics Olympiads, and I was on the USAPhO team with him this past summer, where I got 13th place and the gold medal. And I also competed in the Astrophysics Olympiad, which is of a similar flavor, and I was the two-time runner-up in 2022 and 2023. And aside from that, I've been in the physics Olympiad circles since like my freshman year, and I have been solving lots of problems. And yeah, so for some teaching experience, I along with Colin taught at the FPO's MA Winter Camp and at a separate summer program called the Everrays Academy a while back. Um, and I also taught locally within my math clubs, but I also taught online through this YouTube channel, which you can search up for yourself. Um, it's got there was one video that got mildly popular, but I go through a lot of different physics Olympiad problems in that channel and gained a lot of experience with that. Outside of that, I enjoy playing basketball, cubing, and doing various puzzles. Oh yeah, and this photo is us on stage when we are getting our gold medals, and the back is Makoto Kobayashi, and he's a famous physicist, the 2008 Nobel Prize. Um, my bad. Oh, I'm sorry. The 2008 Nobel Prize winner, and it was for something in quarks, something about quarks, theoretical physics, which is beyond this class.
Okay, so just a little bit about what we are and what we do. We started up earlier this fall, um, and we're with our F equals MA course series, which you might have heard about. Um, and all our courses essentially focus on learning through problem solving and a lot of practice. And this is what we really emphasize. Practice really makes perfect with anything, but with physics especially, the more you practice the problems, the more you'll get to understand the concepts better and to apply them in different situations. So that's really what we emphasize through our problem sets and our homework and our lectures. So we currently offer three. We currently do offer two that are currently running, one coming soon. We offer the F equals MA course series, which is we run it 2 times a year, once in the fall, which is currently running, and again in the spring. So if you are interested in the F equals MA course series, you can stay tuned for some more notifications in the spring. But this course basically prepares students for the F equals MA exam, which is the first run exam for the US Physics Olympiad, and also for the mechanics portion of the USAPhO, which is the second round. The USAPhO course series, which is our second course, which we're going to be talking about essentially today, runs in the winter. And we prepare students for all the other portions of the US Physics Olympiad exam. So this includes relativity, E&M, thermodynamics, optics, modern physics, and waves. So very thorough kind of deep dive into that. And we'll talk a little bit more about exactly what the syllabus looks like for this course later in the webinar. And what will be coming soon is our AP Physics 1 series, which is going to be opening in the spring, which is going to be a class that goes through all the crucial concepts for the AP Physics 1 exam and is kind of like a boot camp right before the exam. And we're going to be basing this curriculum off of the AP rubric. So all the graphing, the experimental skills that you'll need for the AP Physics 1 exam we'll cover in that course. So these are the three general courses. And since you sign up for this webinar, you will all be on our mailing list, and you will all get these emails notifying you of when these open up.
So, what differentiates us from other physics tutoring? So, we we are both IFO medalists, IFO gold medalists, and so we know what we're talking about. We have our experience with years of test taking, and that lets us give you guys more personalized strategy on test taking in a smaller class size. And within our handouts and our lectures, we'll always include a variety of problems with a range of difficulties and a couple problems that help you get prepared for the experimental portion as well and stretch your thinking. So this will allow you to develop a lot of physics intuition by thinking about real experiments, but it's also important if you make it far in the physics Olympiad to be able to do experiments well, as that's about 40% of the score when you get to the IFO and also at camp. And both of us are also in college, attending MIT and Harvard, studying physics, and so that lets us draw from a bigger pool of ideas in more real world physics right now. So if you're interested in taking physics past the high school level, we'll have information for you as well.
I just wanted to go over kind of what our current class is looking like with the F equals MA course series. So in the end, we enrolled 40 students into the class from the waitlist. And these students they attend weekly lectures, which are 1 hour long. And they're engaged in the live Q&A that we do in the chat. And it's always a really fun experience to get to teach the kids and get to learn how they think and have them ask us really difficult questions that challenge our own thinking of physics, which is really cool. So we covered 11 lectures so far in that course. We've written actually over 100 original homework problems so far, and also solutions to each of these problem sets. And students are solving the problems at a really high level, from the F equals MA to the USAPhO mechanics level. So you can see I've actually included the sample student homework submission. So the students are solving problems at a really high level, which we're really, really proud of. So yeah, this is kind of a taste of what it might look like if you were to enroll in the USAPhO course. So we have our lectures, we have our problem sets, and you submit your problem sets and we grade them each week.
So for the course breakdown, as we aim to let you score highly on the USAPhO, we're going to be covering a variety of material, as the USAPhO covers a lot more than the F equals MA does. So generally the USAPhO, we don't have it written here, but it generally averages around 2 mechanics problems, 2 E&M problems, and then 2 other problems which are drawn from the remaining 4 categories of thermo, relativity, waves, or modern physics. And so we structured our program to match that, having a lot more weeks of electromagnetism, which is also the most in-depth, which is also covered the most in-depth in the USAPhO, and then around 1 to 3 weeks for all the remaining topics, which are also quite interesting.
So yeah, by the end of this course, we will have covered the theory for all of the portions of the USAPhO, which is plenty enough background. Hopefully, if you execute well, to earn a silver or gold on the USAPhO. So that's our goal for your student, to help them earn as high of a medal as they can on the Olympiad. So this is more of like a detailed schedule of what we'll be covering every week. So the lectures will be on every Sunday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And so yeah, this is the schedule. You can take a screenshot if you want. But yeah, so as Evan said, we start off with E&M. And we'll have 7 weeks of that. We'll go into 3 weeks of thermodynamics. We'll do 2 weeks of relativity, 1 week of waves, then a second week of optics. We'll go over 1 week of modern physics, and then we'll have a practice USAPhO exam for the students at the end of the course.
All right, so we've already talked about the topics that we're going to cover, and we'll be having lectures for 1 hour and 30 minutes on Sundays, and this will we'll also stay back afterwards for a little bit of Q&A as we have been doing in our FE MMA series. And yeah, so to attend this course, we recommend having the following prerequisites. So in terms of physics, if you've qualified for the USAPhO, that's perfectly good because obviously you're preparing for the USAPhO. And if you scored 12 plus and you're probably looking to qualify for the USAPhO this year, that's also a good reason to take this course. And if you have a strong background in mechanics and want to build off of that to learn all these new topics, you should also be taking the course. In terms of math, we do want you to be able to do calculus because the USAPhO requires calculus, and it's hard to teach a lot of E&M concepts without calculus. So that differs a bit from our ethical MA course. But yeah, so make sure you have calculus. But other than that, not too much advanced math is needed. So throughout the course, you'll be able to learn a lot of problem-solving skills, solving both real USAPhO problems from past years and other Olympiads such as the UFO or the IFO, etc., and our homemade problems from me and Colin. And throughout the course, you'll learn all the theory for the USAPhO. It would be nice if you knew a bit of the theory, but we'll also be covering all of it and giving readings throughout the lectures so that you can learn the material yourself, even if you're slightly, even if you don't know it as well. So you can learn both the material and the problem solving. And as mentioned earlier, all our problem sets and our lectures include some experimental flavor. So this will help you out when you get to camp and if you get to IFO, do well on the experiment. And hopefully all of this should lead you to a high score on the USAPhO and with possibly a silver, gold, or even camp.
So if you want to keep this information, I would recommend taking a screenshot now. This is basically a summary of kind of the information about the course. Okay. So yeah, so now kind of registration will also open up to Q&A at this point. So essentially, registration is open at the first QR code, or you can type in the tiny URL link. The course is being offered at $79 per class, so this is per week, which under that kind of umbrella, you'll have the 1 hour, 1.5 hours weekly lecture, Q&A time after every lecture. So every lecture, we open it up to all the students so they can ask us questions about whatever they want. This will include the problem set, which is usually the length of maybe 1 or 2 USAPhOs, solutions in full, and you'll have access to a Discord and a Google Classroom to ask us questions at any time you want. So yeah, so the full charge would be $1,264 for all 16 weeks of the course. Registration is closing on December 8th. So if you are interested, make sure to do that before the deadline. And we will be offering full refunds if you decide to cancel the course. So this is essentially, we want to give everyone a chance to try the course out without having to commit completely to the cost. So you will have the chance to attend the first 2 weeks of class, and you will receive a full refund for cancellations if you cancel and drop out of the class before that. Another little piece of information is that anyone who registered for the F equals MA course will receive 20% off of the tuition. So you can register at the link in the QR code on the right. You can also see our syllabus, which is also linked there. So the syllabus has more detailed information about the course. Okay, so now I could open up to questions. I see we already have a question in the chat. Can you explain the timeline of F equals MA and USAPhO? So if you're talking about kind of the qualification process for camp, so basically the F equals MA occurs usually early February, and around 6,000 students take that one. And if you get a score of about somewhere around 15, you'll qualify for the USAPhO, which happens the first week of April usually. And this is a free response 3-hour exam. And if you perform well enough on that one, you'll qualify for you will get a medal, which is ranked from gold, silver, bronze, and honorable mention. And you could also qualify for camp if you're in the top 20 students. So the camp happens in June. You do the training for camp, and then the IFO happens in July. So that's kind of the whole cycle. You start in February, and if you make it all the way to the end, you'll end late July. So yeah,